Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Talk Show. I'm your host, JustinBond, and tonight's theme is the pearls of the harridan. Now, a lot of people have asked me, what is a harridan? Well, I received an email from a very illustrious friend of mine who is a guest tonight, who is a Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright and definitely knows his way around a word. And he was making a little joke about how both of us are making our fortunes on these harridans. In his case, Edith Beale, and in my case, Miss Kiki Drain. We are the beneficiaries of these harridans who have kind of gone out of their way to be opinionated, loudmouthed, obnoxious, self-realized women who have made the circle of normality so much larger and allows us a lot more room within the circle. As I was about to say, Danny, before I interrupted you, Yoko Ono and Edie Beale are two women who I consider to be at the forefront of performance art. Edith Beale, tried to be within the normal paradigms of show business and didn't really make it in that world, but she ultimately had the measles over, and she had an opportunity to express herself, and therefore I think she was sort of a precursor of Karen Finley and all the women performance artists that have come since. I'm wondering if you agree with that.
No, emphatically. And another definition of harridan might be a progressive maverick woman who was born into the wrong age and wasn't welcomed for those attributes.
I think Kenny told me the other day, in 2039, there's a 1 in 47,000 chance that an asteroid is going to hit the Earth. And the scientists are asking for $300 million to make some sort of magnet or something to draw the asteroid away from the Earth. Money well spent, John. No. It seems to me if you're going to spend $300 million to save the Earth in 30-some years, well, the way things are going with this global warming, why not just let the asteroid hit the Earth and put everyone out of their misery all at once instead of a slow death from starvation and heat?
How old will you be then?
I can't remember. I can't remember the future, John. When my grandmother was dying, my mother didn't call my sister, she called me. Yeah. And I was the one there 24 hours a day. My grandmother had real problems with heat. And she was, 93 years old. I'm in the nursing home. She pulls up her nightgown and exposes her entire body to me. Fan me, fan me. So I'm standing over there and I'm looking at my grandmother's old grizzly gray pussy and I'm thinking, everyone I love, everything that I've become came out of that pussy, and if she wants me to fan it, by God, I'll fan it. And so that's the answer to that question. But my uncle, but she did it to my uncle and he ran screaming from the room. But again, it's different generations, So maybe it's time for a song.
You're the pill I never wanted to take, an anti-misanthrope. Mine was the heart I never thought you would break. My one hope was that I'd survive you. Across her face, and in the dark we will take off our clothes, and there'll be placing fingers through the notches in your spine.
I am the New York, I am the New York, I am the New York aristocracy. I walk the red carpet, all the eyes of the world on me.
This beautiful little 8-year-old girl that came out was so moving. When I saw you had her in the show, I wept. I was crying because I was so blown away. I would have never have thought the first time I saw you performing that there would be some sort of like nurturing, like mother role taken on by your character, and it's kind of adds this complexity. And I'm just wondering what that's like for you.
Well, I'm an availabilist. That's someone who makes the best use of what's available, and the child was just sort of around.
I mean, I love a harpy. If it wasn't a harpy, who else would shout down people like George Bush? Or, you know, I'm just devastated by the fact that, what's her name? The lesbian daughter is so docile.
I had a cab driver today who was listening to Christian rap.
Christian rap.
Christian rap.
But doesn't that seem more, you know, sort of edgy than regular rap at this point? God hates the flag. God hates flag. God hates the flag. And if a faggy hates you, too. If a faggy hates you, too. If a faggy hates you, too. God hates the flag. God hates the flag. I was watching the Rachel Ray show. Laura Bush, the first lady of the country, was the guest, and she was all in red, and she was sitting there just sort of really like an automaton, and Rachel Ray, is George, is the president gonna get you some Valentine, some flowers or something? Well, I imagine that the gardener from the White House will work up some nice topiary, and he will send it up to me, and he'll sign George's name. And I thought, poor Laura. She's got a secret life, though, I believe, because she is a chain smoker. And she's like sort of the nerdy girl. She was the nerdy librarian who ran over her ex-boyfriend and got real sort of introspective, became a librarian, but she chain smokes, you see. And that is that kind of a woman. The kind of woman who has this idea of how things should be and sits there in her red dress and talks about how her husband doesn't send her flowers, but she's gonna get some anyway. And meanwhile, she's up there reading secretly and smoking in the attic of the White House. And I thought, you know, that is it. That sort of denial, that kind of perfection. Whereas me and my friends, we just throw all the shit on the table and try and work through it. I'll just tell another personal anecdote. I grew up going to the Beaver Creek Church of the Brethren, and Dorothy Hutzel let us say anything in Sunday school. We were supposed to be talking about Joseph or Levi or whoever, and we'd sit in there talking about blowjobs and this and that and the other thing. The church was the only place that I, as a fag, felt safe because I knew they couldn't kill me because of the thou shalt not kill thing, which I wasn't sure about the secular people at my schools and what have you. But anyway, Doug, you're from Texas. Oh my God, you're from a fancy family. You had a Lincoln Continental. You better work. Did you ever shit on stage, Daniella?
No, but I definitely saw it happen.
I've seen it happen too. I've seen people go to jail for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that your ex-boyfriend?
No. I think a lot of men aren't willing to embrace their inner Harridan because they have to give up a lot of power in the culture, don't they? If you hang on to your, you know, male mystique and you don't become a Harridan, you have a little bit more power in this culture because women who are Harridans are called hysterics or disempowered, but for people like me, those women make life possible. Squeaky From. That was a Harridan. She did the right thing and she was punished for it. When things get bad, ladies and gentlemen, and you're feeling that the energy in the room needs to change, when everything's getting a little too surreal and nothing makes any sense, when you're scared, when you're feeling alone, when you feel like you need help, when you feel like you need to call upon a spirit that is gonna make a change in your life, just reach up to the stars and say, she'll come, she'll go. I dig deep
You
in a
dig
shallow
deep.
pond.
You dig deep.
But the
Justin,
thing is to remember that it used to be a pond and now it's just a hole.
is it?